It's no secret to most that have watched the show or read the manga, but Hunter x Hunter is filled to the brim with religious symbolism and parallels. From the Christian symbolism of Chrono to the Buddhism of Jing, it's clear that Yoshihiro Togashi studied up on all types of religions and philosophies all over the world. I would argue that the character that embodies this the most is the chairman of the Hunter Association, Isaac Netero. My personal favorite character in Hunter x Hunter is Netero, for many reasons that I will try and explain later, but I feel he's one that not many understand fully. Many either label Netero as a character that only exists to fill in the badass old man trope that fiction is known for, and some may judge Netero on his actions during the Chimera Antarch, and suggest that his soul is as dark as charcoal. Many misjudge and/or generalize this man, and I feel it is a strong disservice to how much of a beautiful character he is. Quite simply, Netero is the most balanced character in this story for many reasons, at least in my view. I'll try and explain why Netero balances out both the tone of the story and his own heart. From the beginning of his life, Netero has strived to become the best at what he loves the most: martial arts. This not only means he had to train his body, but also his mind like no other human in a world full of strong nen users. To do this, he set out to throw 10,000 punches and pray 10,000 times every day for the next 2 years. At the age of 46, he succeeded in reaching enlightenment after studying in the mountains for so long, returning to the dojo he originally trained in. After the Grand Master watched Netero's punches that were faster than the speed of sound, he was moved to tears and gave the man the title he previously owned, Grand Master of the dojo. At some point after this, he was elected as chairman of the Hunter Association after both becoming Grand Master of the dojo and after traversing into the Dark Continent, with him sadly not finding anything to match his skills in combat. As Netero grew in status, his heart became more dark over time, with him developing a hatred for those who are weak. This does not only include physical weakness, but also mental weakness. With Netero training for so long as a tribute to martial arts, he holds nothing but disgust for people that cannot put as much effort into their passions as he does. He holds an extreme amount of pride, and seemingly only pays attention to those who are strong in his eyes, which is why he fills the Hunter exam with so many dangerous traps. In Netero's eyes, the weak shouldn't become hunters, because those who cannot overcome adversity to reach their goals should simply die. However, he shows nothing but admiration for those who strive for more, with him seemingly testing Gon and Killua during the dodgeball game they share, not only because it seemed fun to him, but also as a way to gauge their potential. Assuming that Netero was the one who organized the tournament bracket later on, we can even see this reflected on said bracket. It's no secret that this bracket is uneven, and certain applicants get way more chances to become hunters than others. Why does Gon get more chances than someone like Killua? Because Killua gave up on the ball game, while Gon did nothing but persist and try to beat Netero. Even so, Netero gave Killua more chances to become a hunter than someone like Leorio, because Netero no doubt recognized the assassination technique Killua used on him during their dodgeball game. This is likely due to the fact that Netero was the only man who survived a fight with Maha Zoldyck, and his close relationship with Zeno. So he no doubt recognizes that Killua has potential, at least compared to someone like Leorio, who he most likely viewed as a weak-minded person. This makes sense due to Leorio making it much harder for his friends during the third phase of the exam, as Netero no doubt wanted to observe the applicants via cameras. It isn't even just the Chimera Antarch that explores the darkness of Netero, but it was foreshadowed all the way from the Hunter exam if you view it with this context in mind. Even so, however, Netero isn't as dark as you may think. It's quite clear that one of his main motivations for the dodgeball game wasn't just to gauge Gon and Killua, but it was also just to have fun with the boys. Hell, when Gon asks Netero what the assassination technique that Killua used was, Netero responds as such.
あれは闇商売の専売特許みたいなもんじゃ。お主は知る必要がない。むしろ知ってはいかんものだ。
It's as if Netero is trying to shield Gon away from something as depraved as a technique used for brutal murder, most likely due to Gon's innocence. Furthermore, it's quite clear that Netero is a bit of a goofball. This is most likely why he hired someone as devious as Pariston to be his vice chairman. Most likely because he thought it'd be funny. He seemingly gets a lot of joy out of playing pranks on other hunters, or just cracking jokes with them. As explored in the Chimera Ant arc, he also respects kindness from others, whether they be a human or an ant. As Netero himself says, the heart is what matters the most. Netero has an unbelievable amount of respect for humanity as a species, for both the wonderful things we have done and the awful things we have done. Part of the reason why he came to fight a so-called Ant King was to defend his species after all, while the other side of him was looking for something fun and challenging to fight. Netero simply wants to go all out during a fight, and seeing as how he was deemed as the strongest human alive, he would naturally have trouble looking for such an opponent. While there are no doubt some characters in the series that could rival Netero in terms of strength, such as Jean, Biscuit, Crollo, or most of the Zoldycks, it's quite clear that he's still the strongest human in his world. But perhaps the answer that Netero was looking for wasn't from a fellow human, but from the king of a species that was looking to wipe out humanity. This would kill two birds with one stone, as Netero would not only get to defend humanity, but also fight the battle he's been looking for so long. Considering how Netero was most likely bored, with him constantly messing around with other hunters and causing chaos in the association, this was the best thing that could ever happen to him. Although, things wouldn't go exactly the way they wanted, due to Meruem at this point of his life becoming much more of an ironically human ant. During the palace raid, Netero shows some respect to Meruem by not harming Komugi due to Meruem showing genuine human care and affection. Harming someone who is embodying the best aspects of humanity currently would put a scar on Netero's soul and leave him with nothing to be proud of. Meruem even shows his gratitude by sparing Netero and Zeno, when Meruem at the beginning of the series would have slaughtered both of them and gotten away with it. All of this comes to a conclusion during the fight between Netero and Meruem. Netero can quite clearly see that Meruem is evolving and becoming more human than ever, and this greatly pains the old man. Fighting the Ant King is simply something that he needs to do, and while one side of him is excited that he'll experience the greatest fight of his life, the other is a bit more somber. Netero quickly stops the talking between the two, as he knows that if he doesn't stop, then he'll agree with the king's proposal on his ideal society and work with him. As someone who doesn't respect the weak, Netero would most likely agree with Meruem's idea of a perfect world, but there is more to Netero's view on the weak in my opinion. Netero, to an extent, views the weak as those who need to be protected rather than those who need to battle others. In the world of Hunter x Hunter, fighting is how you go forward in life, and Netero used his power for others since the beginning. What did Netero do after he mastered his technique? He trained others in a dojo. With his power as chairman, he could no doubt rule the entire world if he wanted to as a monarch. But he doesn't. He purposefully lets others have the freedom they crave. It could be that Netero views the weak individuals who enter into the Hunter exam as misguided, and aims to put them out of their own misery from the traps and harshness that the exam shows. Anyone can take the exam for a reason. Netero is a character of balance. Every aspect of Netero can be viewed from either an innocent or malicious way, and that's part of the beauty of his character. A man who has dedicated his life to martial arts would know something about balance in the heart. The concept of the yin-yang is very prevalent in Chinese philosophy. The idea behind the yin-yang is that one must achieve balance in their heart between the two sides of light and darkness. If one is more prevalent in the heart of said person, then they become consumed by the side that their heart favors. There are characters who embody the light, like Leorio, Knuckle, and Melody, and there are other characters who embody the dark, like Saraidnik, Hisoka, and Pariston. But Netero distinguishes himself on the morality scale, as he embodies light and darkness combined. If duality is not maintained, then one cannot recognize the light in the darkness, and the darkness in the light. That is why the symbol of the yin-yang has a white dot in the blackness, and a black dot in the whiteness. The one who embodies both sides of the human heart is the one who sees the clearest. Netero, in embodying the yin-yang, is the most enlightened character in Hunter x Hunter. Knowing this, the actions he takes during his final fight are nothing short of breathtaking. During the battle, Netero uses prayers and gratitude to attack his enemy, defending humanity with the most light-sided aspects of his heart. But in order to truly put down the Ant King for good, he uses the Rose Bomb to embody the darkness of humanity and end the fight. Even in his final moments, what truly made Netero win this fight was the balance of his prayers and the rose. The yin and yang in this confrontation, and the light and darkness of not only Netero, but humanity itself. The main theme of the Chimera Ant arc is the idea that humans and ants are not as different as many think. There are two sides to the same coin, and the idea of the light and dark coins on the Gungi board during the ending sequence supports this. Netero's entire character concept supports this main theme, as I previously explained, and in my view, he is what makes the Chimera Ant arc work so well thematically. Everything is enhanced from the perspective of Isaac Netero, and that is what truly makes him a special and beautiful character. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.
感謝するぜ。お前と出会えたこれまでの全てに。